Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have the latest from the live radar, as we still do have quite a lot of cold and wintry weather to come for the rest of this working week. Still got some heavy snow, especially towards coastal regions, northern areas and potentially southern and western regions over the next 24 hours or so, but it is going to clear by the weekend. The end is in sight with mild air, with heavy rain and wind arriving through Saturday into Sunday. There could be some leading edge snow in places, but at the moment it will be turning mostly to rain, and it could actually be a named storm. It does look like there'll be some pretty severe impacts from wind and rain. We do have numerous weather warnings issued over the coming days for snow initially, and then transitioning to rain through the weekend. We'll have a look at the latest from the UKV and the arpège runs, looking at the snowfall over the next few days and of course into the weekend, looking at wind gusts and precipitation. And then we'll finish the video by having a look at the longer range charts, the GFS, GM, ECWF and the Ensembles, to see what is in store for as we head into early December. Again, a bit of a spoiler, none of the runs are in agreement today, so complete contrast to what we were seeing a week or two ago, where all runs were slowly trending towards this colder spell we're seeing now. All three runs showing completely different options. Some of them not even reminiscent. ECWF, high pressure dominated, GFS, low pressure dominated. And it just gives us the indication that the models have got no idea what is going to be happening into early December. All options are still on the table, and we'll look at that in detail in the second half of the video. So do remember, if you enjoy my videos, much do like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well. The link's in the description. Now, if you start on the live radar, you can see it is mostly dry at the moment, but where we do have precipitation, it is all falling as snow. Now, if you go from north to south, you see we've still got plenty of heavy snow showers pushing in for northern Scotland. Some of these are really quite beefy, and again, for some of these northern regions, we are going to be seeing sort of 10 to 20 centimetres by the end of this week from these persistent showers. Some of these showers have got some really dark colours within them, indicating some torrential precipitation, exceptionally heavy snow. Again, they do move through quite quickly, but for the small period of time that they do produce precipitation, they are really lively. Even a bit of thunder snow is possible. Now, as we head further southwards, we're still going to see some snow showers drifting in across eastern coastal regions, up towards northwest England as well, some snow showers drifting in, and there's the potential, if these do line up, to see further amounts of sort of accumulations in places, but again, it'll be fairly isolated. You can see what I was saying about coastal regions seeing rain here, sort of 4 metre southport here. We're only seeing rain, as you can see, it goes a little bit inland, maybe 5-10 miles inland. We're starting to see snow along this line, and that is all because we've got slightly milder air over the Irish Sea here because of the milder sea surface temperatures, and it just allows those temperatures to be slightly higher towards those coastal regions. Now, if we move further westwards, we've got a larger area of snow moving in for the Republic of Ireland. Now, this does look like it's going to head eastwards and could give heavy snow for large areas, but actually it is heading southeastwards, and it's just going to skim the far southwest of England. There is massive uncertainty how far inland this low will push. The centre of the low is looking very likely to move through France, where the majority of the heavy snow will be, but this leading edge of precipitation, where we have got snow at the moment across the Republic of Ireland, is going to clear through. It's how far does it push into southwestern areas, into central southern England. As we'll see in a few moments' time, we do have a weather warning issued for southwest England for snow. Potentially it could be adjusted further eastwards. The UKV has snow coming out towards the southwest here. The arpège, though, does bring it further eastwards, potentially towards the M4 line southwards. So yeah, massive uncertainty overnight tonight into tomorrow. But again, if you are in this region, wouldn't be surprised to be waking up potentially to a bit of snowfall. Maybe not massive accumulating snow, but maybe some falling snow. And if some are lucky and it's a little bit further northwards and it more heavy than anticipated, then there is the risk of maybe even some accumulating. But we're not expecting anything more than a couple of centimetres at the most. And again, that most likely will be across higher ground of southwest England. Now, a big thing that all will be experiencing this evening are the bitterly cold temperatures. The up and down the country temperatures are widely below freezing and will drop even further over the course of the evening. Now, I'm recording this around 7 p.m. You can already see temperatures well below freezing, and they'll probably get down to -5 to maybe -10 in the coldest spots, and that will continue over the next few nights before it turns milder into Saturday. And if we do finally just put on the past 24-hour snowfall, you can see that we again seen lots of heavy snow across northern regions, maybe up to 30 centimetres of snow in some of these areas, and again just shows you the power of persistent precipitation. It's just why, it's just an example why when we see the beast from the east coming with easterly winds, we see that sort of level of snowfall all the way down the east coast, and that's why that's more impactful, because it is coming off the east, affecting many more regions, whereas coming in from the north, you can see really only impacting northern Scotland, the northeast coastal areas, northern Wales, and heading inland at times, and then up towards Northern Ireland. So you can really see it's those coastal regions where we've got that wind pushing in with those convective showers. That is where we're seeing snow at the moment, and have seen snow, and will continue to see snow over the coming hours. Now, if you look at the weather warnings, we've got numerous warnings issued as we head into Thursday. Again, if we do start by having a look at those warnings further northwards, you can see we've got this snow and ice warning that expires at midday tomorrow, again for all those snow showers. Again, we're looking at potentially 2 to 5 centimetres, widely up to 10 centimetres, and maybe 15 to 20 centimetres. As we just saw on the live radar, lots of snow is possible. Again, medium impact, low likelihood, and that's just because it is convection based, so it's very difficult to pinpoint where the heavy snow will be. And then we've got these larger ice warnings issued. We've got the warnings issued across Northern Ireland, up towards southern Scotland, even extending towards eastern Scotland there, and across northwestern regions, and down the east coast as well. And this is basically where we've seen any showers over the past 24 hours after that main area of rain and snow yesterday. It's wherever we've seen showers, precipitation, even if it melts during the day with the temperatures above freezing, overnight, any moisture is going to freeze readily, and that's why we've got this. You can see icy stretches are expected to form on untreated surfaces during Wednesday evening and overnight into Thursday as temperatures drop below freezing. A few sleet or snow showers also likely, particularly close to coast, and we saw that on the live radar. And then we've got this more interesting warning, this snow warning issued across southwest England. It's from 5 a.m. until 3 p.m. tomorrow. Snow over higher parts of southwest England may lead to some travel delays, with the chance of snow to lower levels too. You can see here, a spell of rain and snow is expected to develop across southwest England on Thursday. Accumulating snow is most likely above the higher ground, above 200 metres, 2 to 5 centimetres, maybe even 5 to 10 centimetres. In places, medium likelihood, lower end of the impact matrix. So it is very likely we see snow. It just doesn't look too impactful at the moment because the main bulk of the precipitation is staying out in the Channel and heading into France. And then finally, if we move into the weekend, we've got more major warnings issued. We've got these rain warnings issued, one across southwest England from 6 a.m. until 6 a.m. on Saturday until 6 a.m. on Sunday. Again, we're looking at 50 to 75 millimetres of rain, quite widely 100 to 125 millimetres. We do see this big storm system moving in, and I wouldn't be surprised if this actually did get named from the looks of it. There's other warning across all of Wales, or pretty much all of Wales, again for the same period, and again we're looking at 100 to 125 millimetres in places, 50 to 75 widely, and maybe up to 150 in a few spots. And then we've got this rain and snow warning from 4 a.m. until 9 a.m. on Sunday. It's because we're going to see heavy snow followed by rapid thaw and then subsequent rain. So we could go from potentially icy, snowy conditions to very wet conditions and potentially flooding by Sunday. You see outbreaks of rain will spread northeast on Saturday, preceded by a spell of snow across parts of northern England and Scotland. While snow will become increasingly confined to higher elevations, there is a chance of a transient period of snow to low-lying areas, with perhaps as 5 to 10 centimetres, especially towards the Vale of York, so Yorkshire sort of area, before turning back to rain. Temporary snow accumulations, 10 to 20 centimetres, above 150 metres, and perhaps 20 to 40 centimetres above 300 metres. And again, beyond that, we're going to see strengthening winds, difficult driving conditions, and you can see that with that rapid thaw and another 20 to 40 millimetres of rain in some regions, there's the risk of flooding into the latter part of this rainfall event. So heavy snow, wintry conditions, very quickly turning to rain, wind and stormy conditions by Sunday. So you can see the full transition here for those northern regions, and yeah, it could be very lively indeed, and see those warnings last out into Sunday. Now, if you go over to the UKV now and have a look at those precipitation and temperature charts, and also the wind gusts as well, you can see overnight tonight that snowfall heading into southwestern regions. It does push inland for a time through tomorrow, but doesn't make much progress further northwards. There is uncertainty. This could be slightly further northwards and eastwards than anticipated right now, but again, it's going to be a nowcast situation. Further northwards, lots of snow showers packing in, and eventually you can see as we head through Thursday, those snow showers maybe drifting further inland, a bit of a disturbance there, maybe even reaching quite far inland there through Thursday night, before slowly clearing through Friday as we see a ridge of high pressure building in, and eventually that heavy snow and rain arriving into Saturday, eventually clearing through Sunday, but continue to see lots of heavy rain even into Sunday morning there, full clearing and seeing much milder westerly flow into next week. If you look at the wind gusts, you can see as that system approaches, maybe 50 to 60 widely, up to 70 or 80 in a few spots. Again, that would be warranted of maybe even a warning, yellow, maybe amber warning, and potentially named storm status. But it does move through quite quickly, so we'll have to wait and see. If you do look finally at the max temperatures, overnight tonight widely below freezing, down to maybe -5 to -10 in a few spots. Tomorrow, hardly getting above freezing in many areas, maybe 3 or 4 degrees at best. Into Friday, again widely below freezing overnight, and into the afternoon slightly milder, maybe 5 or 6 degrees, but still very cold in the north. And then into Saturday, many waking up to a frost, but by the afternoon temperatures getting rapidly milder. You see the north still very cold, but southern areas 15 degrees, and by Sunday all in the milder air, and could see 15, 16 there by Sunday afternoon, for it starts to turn a little bit chillier there through Monday. If you compare to the RPairs, just wanted to show you this, it's just a contrast against the UKV, especially for the snowfall over the coming hours. You can see that precipitation in the southwest pushes quite a bit further inland. We do see quite a bit of extensive snow there across the far south coast. Again, we'll have to wait and see, but definitely looks quite a bit further northwards and eastwards than the UKV, and even small differences like 50 to 100 miles in movement could be the difference between a bit of falling snow and maybe 2 to 3 centimetres, which can cause disruption. So again, it's going to be a nowcast situation. So if you are towards those southern and southwestern areas and you're not forecasting snow at the moment, the apps aren't showing it, weather charts aren't showing it, doesn't mean you're not going to see it. There is the risk through the morning especially. As we head into the weekend, again, we can see that big low pressure system arriving, heavy snow at its leading edge for clearing away. So pretty much in agreement there with the UKV. Now, if you finish up the video, but have a look at the longer range charts now, you can see those northerly winds continue to push in. That low rapidly deepens into the weekend, bringing a big storm system in from the west. And then as we head into the longer range, we continue to see high pressure trying to linger, but not having too much success. And right towards the end of the run, we're seeing pretty much westerly flow, nothing exceptional, something relatively mild, probably hovering around average for the time of year, with some wetter days and some dry days. So nothing exceptional here from the GFS at all. Pretty typical late autumn, early winter conditions. Strong tropospheric polar vortex towards northern Canada, and that would just power the jet stream. Nothing remotely cold here by the end of the run. Now the GEM on the contrary is cold, at least initially. That low pressure system pushes in through the weekend, that storm system, and then as we head towards day 10, we see that high pressure to our north continuing to dominate. The GFS kind of squashed it and came nothing of it by day 10. Instead, the GEM continues to keep it there and actually starts to bring northeasterly winds in, and we would probably go much colder in the subsequent days if that high pressure maintains its strength. Very much dependent on the high pressure, I must stress that. If that high pressure collapses, then of course it would go westerly. But very interesting, complete contrast to the GFS, which didn't give this high pressure system a sniff at all. Whereas the GEM here is much more on board with something more blocks and potentially colder to end November and start December. Now, if you finish by looking at the latest ECMWF, again, that big storm system moves through over the weekend. The high pressure tries to get going towards the north, but actually it just builds over the top of us and keeps us dry and probably pretty cold and frosty. Upper air temperatures aren't particularly cold, but just because of the time of year, an inversion would likely take place, and it probably would be pretty chilly. It is trying to push northwards. There is warm air advection where that warm air is getting pumped northwards. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if this did make a shift northwards and we did see an easterly flow, but it's nowhere near as much northern blocking as the GEM had, where the high pressure was actually towards Greenland. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this does play out, because all three runs have some similarities, but to be honest, towards day 10, they couldn't be much more different. Again, massive westerly from the GFS, GM, northern blocking, ECMWF, European high with the high pressure system over the top of us, all giving vastly different conditions. Now finally, if we compare it to the ensembles, latest GFS, you can see next couple of days very cold, much milder into Saturday and Sunday, and then back towards average and hovering around average or slightly above into the longer term. But again, I wouldn't look at that in too much detail just because of the amount of uncertainty and chopping and changing we're seeing. You can see it as unsettled, so there's no massive high pressure signal. So ECMWF does look like a bit of an outlier there, but it does look pretty typical for the time of year, average temperatures and high precipitation. If you compare it to the ECMWF, the midday run hasn't come out yet, but if we look at the midnight run, it's very similar. Cold at the moment, does turn much milder into the weekend with high precipitation, and then back towards average, hovering above and below with moderate amount of precipitation. So no real signal in the longer term, no real major factor taking over. So the risk of something colder is there, but it's not overwhelming at the moment. It's all still to play for. Of course, the longer range charts, as we've seen it in our winter look heads, have been very much indicative, potentially into December, of something more blocked and cold. And that has been hinted over the past few days, but we've not seen anything too on board with that at this stage. So we will have to keep a close eye on it. But for the time being, we've got to get through the next sort of 3 or 4 days with continued amounts of heavy snow and cold conditions, and then eventually heavy snow to heavy rain through the weekend. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.